So clearly, as we discussed, the per-abdominal findings are already written. The limbs will be palpated at the umbilicus, the anterior shoulder will be away from the midline, and back and fetal heart sound will be felt at the flanks. Now marching forward, what will be the outcomes? So if this is the pelvis, and say 6 here, it's the most common position, so here the occiput is present, and this is DOA, this is ROA, and this is LOA. So we know for any part to develop, it has to exactly come in this position, that is direct occipito anterior. So in order for it to come from this initial position to this final position, it has to come this is first 1/8 of the circle, this is 2/8 of the circle, and this is 3/8 of the circle. So total the whole distance, it's better written as 1/8, 1/8, and 1/8. So cumulatively 3/8 of circle, it has to come in this direction to assume a direct occipito-anterior position where the head can be delivered. This complete rotation happens in around 90% cases. So once the mother is in labor, we wait and watch. So in outcomes, first we have complete rotation, which happens in almost 90% cases in which the baby is developed. In the rest 10% of the cases, a very interesting finding happens. Say the occipito-posterior position was due to an android pelvis like this, and we have ischial spines here. This will be DOA, this will be LOA, sorry, this will be ROA, this will be ROT, and of course here it will be ROP, it will be DOP. So the occiput is here, but after 1/8 of the rotation in the ROT position, the head is fixed and the head cannot come any forward. Okay, so here in the transverse position the head is arrested despite of good contractions at the level of ischial spine. So when there is a arrest of the head at the level of ischial spine in ROT position or in transverse position, despite having good contractions, this is what we known as DTA or deep transverse arrest. Now, what are the causes? The causes are also, as I mentioned, most commonly android pelvis. Then if the baby is big, or if there is less liquor or oligohydramnios. So now what is the management? The management is quite simple actually, that if DTA occurs in an android type of pelvis like we discussed, we have to go for cesarean section. If it happens in other types, the best solution is still to go for a cesarean section, but we can also go for forceps delivery or vacuum delivery. This is DTA. Now another thing which can happen regarding the rotation is that if this is the DOA, DOP, this is ROP, this is ROT. So generally the head is here, so it should have came 3/8 of the circle here. If this was initial, this should have been final, but in this case something else happened. The head went backward by 1/8 of the cycle and assumed a direct occipito posterior position, in which basically it started to deliver. So here, as you can see, the occiput faces the sacrum, or the occiput basically faces the sacral promontory, and opposite to it the face will face the pubic symphysis. So this is also known as a DOP delivery, or a face to pubes delivery. Now what happens in this kind of deliveries? If the pelvis is anthropoid, that is the most common, then we can go for a vaginal delivery, and here we have to give episiotomy. Episiotomy is indicated. What are the indications of episiotomy? If you see, हमने बोला था सिया फेस राम. We have shoulder dystocia, instrumental delivery after coming of head, face to pubes, macrosomia. So this is the mnemonic, and if it occurs in any other pelvis, only in anthropoid vaginal delivery is possible with the help of an episiotomy. If it happens in any other type of pelvis, it causes something which is known as deep sacral arrest for more than 30 minutes, and the management is of course cesarean section. So this ends malposition.